Good morning and welcome to the Friday morning show. I am honored that you've chosen to tune in today. I am your host, Deanna Deacon, intuitive life coach, retreat host, heading to New Zealand in October, as well as the founder of the Empowered Woman Conference and the Empowered Woman series. It's Friday, and that means it's a great freaking day. Because we get to be here together, we get to have this experience, we get to connect, we get to learn something about ourselves, our experience of life, and today, about our bodies. And I'm gonna drop some truth bombs for you, and you're gonna be receiving something so powerful about your connection to your body, so I can't wait to share this. If you're here with me live, go ahead and comment and let me know how you're feeling today, maybe where you're watching from. That would be super awesome to know, and hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Hello, Emma. So nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. I saw a video you did of you, I think, doing your cool down. And damn, girl, you look amazing. You look like you've been nourishing and honoring your body nonstop, which I know you have been, but it's really starting to show. So that's amazing. Congratulations for that. Today's topic is all about our bodies. And this has been coming up in a lot of different conversations that I've been having with friends as well as with clients. And I realized that this is a part of my personal wisdom that I'm not sharing regularly, and it's time to share it. It's time to make sure that more people understand this concept. So I'm really excited to share it with you today. I want you to take a moment and just close your eyes and come into your body and just ask yourself, how do you feel today? How does your body feel in this moment? Because when we take a moment to ask ourselves how we feel, it gives space for our body to answer. And most of us have not been taught to do this. We don't know how to do this. So I want you to take a moment, take a deep breath, and ask how your body is feeling right now. My body personally has a little bit of there's a bit of jitteriness in me. I've had that since I woke up this morning. I don't know why, but there's a little bit of energy and amplification. Something is just surging within me. And that often for me means that I'm on the verge of coming up with basically a new program, is usually how it works in my work, but there's this energy surging through me. So I want to hear from you. What are you feeling in your body right now? This is going to help as we lead into what we're talking about today. How are you feeling in your body right now? How is your body feeling today in this moment? Hi, Roberta. I see that you joined us. How fabulous. Let me know, and you guys watching the replay as well, how is your body feeling right now? Now, in order to come into this conversation, you have to know a little bit about my background. If you have not yet read about my story per se as to how I got started into this entire line of work, I encourage you after this to head to my website, deannadeacon.com/about. Go ahead and read through my story. It tells you about, when I was 19 losing my mom and then what happened from there and where I found myself. Then finding myself in New Zealand with my new partner at the time, who's now my husband, and the depression and the physical breakdown that my body went through, and then a few other pieces along the way of my story. This is integral to the conversation we're having today to understand a little bit about that. So if parts of this don't make sense, head there after, read my story, and then come back and revisit this, okay? So, when it comes to our bodies, I'll start with the background. Okay, so I was in New Zealand. I had a lot of emotional trauma in my body, but didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that was, but I was deeply depressed and sad because I'd lost my mom at such a young age and had not given myself space to actually explore that and understand what that could mean or even know what grieving actually meant. I remember when I first lost my mom, I was with a partner who I loved dearly, but his understanding of grieving was anger, and my understanding of grieving was sadness. And he kept asking me, where's your anger? Why don't you have any frustration or anger coming out about this? And I thought, well, am I grieving wrong? Am I doing this wrong? I don't have this anger. I don't have this rage. And it's just that in my body, in my experience of emotions, that's not how I process them primarily. Sometimes yes, but the majority of the time, no. And I remember getting so confused and I didn't know how to grieve and no one else was there to teach me. So I just stopped. I stopped thinking about mom. I stopped trying to process my emotions. I stopped being curious about what it would be like to not have that pain anymore. And I just held it. I just kept it inside of me because I didn't know what else to do. And then fast forward to, I guess, 6 or 7 years later, living in New Zealand, I found myself in this beautiful country that I absolutely love. It is so beautiful. The people are so incredible. If you haven't been there, please go. Come with me in October. It's amazing. I was in this incredible place, and yet I was so unhappy. I was distraught. I was depressed. I missed my family. I felt like all of my friends back home no longer cared about me. I'd send emails and get no responses, and I thought, I don't even have any friends anymore. Nobody cares that I'm even alive. No one cares what I'm doing over here. And the friends that I had there, I didn't feel that deep connection with, and my relationship with Luke was just going haywire, but I couldn't do anything about it. I remember thinking, I gotta leave this guy. He's the problem. He is all of my problems. But I couldn't leave him because we were living across the country together, and I didn't have that confidence inside to do things. And turns out it wasn't his fault. It wasn't the fault of my friends back home. It wasn't anybody's fault except that I didn't understand how to process the emotions in my body. I was so deeply depressed, and I didn't know how to process it, that my body physically started showing up in pain. I got very, very skinny because I couldn't eat anything. I was living off boiled eggs and rice cakes because that was all I could keep down. I had chronic pain in my head so bad, this pounding in my head, that I couldn't function. I literally spent almost every single day in bed. I would only get out of bed basically to go to work because I had no money, and all the money I had, I was paying naturopaths and doctor's visits and prescriptions trying to get something to make me feel better. And I didn't. It didn't happen until I moved home to Canada. When I moved home to Canada, I was living in Victoria, and I came across a book. And this book changed the entire way that I looked at my body, that I spoke to my body, that I witnessed my body. And that book, I tried to find it for you today to show you, but I put it somewhere. It's called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. She's the founder of Hay House Publishing Company, and I do have this little mini version. This is called Heal Your Body by Louise Hay, and this is just like a short form of all the different physical ailments that you may come across in your physical body and what it could be related to emotionally, because our emotional trauma is stored in our body, and when we're not processing or paying attention to it, it shows up in physical pain. Okay? So our bodies create pain for us to pay attention. Because if you think about it, if everything's going super well, you're probably not going to change things. You're probably not going to ask, okay, well, should I switch up my morning routine? Should I change this? Should I do that? Because everything's going fine. You're good. But as soon as you have pain, as soon as something doesn't work the way that you want it to, as soon as something is uncomfortable, you are now going to question, why is that? What is this from? Why is this happening? What's going on here? And you're more likely to cause change. So this is my belief, is that your body creates that pain to cause you to pay attention. My example, being in New Zealand, I had become so disconnected from my body that my body needed to show up in a way where I could hardly function, where we cut our trip short and came back to Canada sooner because I was so unwell emotionally, which showed up physically. And I have 6 other examples of very specific examples of emotional pain leading directly to physical pain. And as soon as I sort out those emotions, the physical pain goes away. So this has happened over and over for me. So this is a complete truth in my life. And I believe it is the same for all of us. So coming into our conversation today, your body's pain, especially the consistent pain or the pain patterns, the things that show up regularly, that is your wisdom. That is your body saying, hello, I need you to pay attention to me. And not just go to the doctor and try to figure out what it is, but ask yourself, okay, what part of my body is this in? How does my body change when this occurs? How does my mind and my emotions change when I feel this pain? What do I receive from others when I have this pain in my body? Who do I become when I have this pain? Ask yourself all of these questions so that you start receiving the wisdom from that pain so that you can heal the emotional discomfort to allow the physical pain to dissipate. Yeah? Now, this is all about finding your way into balance and homeostasis. So our bodies are constantly trying to find their way back to balance. And that's why, when you're cold, your body tries to warm you up. And when you're hot, your body sweats to cool you down. This is always trying to come back to that homeostasis. It's the same thing here. When your emotions are out of whack, your body is trying to bring you back into homeostasis. It is working for you. It is your ally. It is here with you. But when we don't pay attention to the patterns that are playing out in our life, and when we don't pay attention to what could be underlying that physical pain, we're missing out on like 90% of what our body is doing for us. And we're just seeing it as like this function that is causing our life to be more challenging. Can anybody relate to that? I'm curious. This has happened to me so much in the past. Can you relate to your body showing up in a way where there's pain or trauma, or you can't function in a specific way, and you get mad at it because you're annoyed that now you can't do what you want to do? Anybody? Put your hands up. Give me some sort of emoji in there. Give me something if you can relate to that. I'm gonna fix my hair here. I just got out of the shower. It's a little fresh. Oh, hi, Raylyn. Raylyn says she has that book. It's amazing. I agree, it is. And Raylyn says, heck yes. And Roberta, yes. Absolutely. So many of us, I believe this is really based on the way that society looks at it, and the way that especially in Canada and the States, the way our healthcare system looks at it. I've heard it many times called the sick care system, because the only time that you go get support is when you're already sick, which means it's kind of not too late, but it's at the wrong end of the spectrum when you should be getting support. You should be getting support when you start seeing the smallest teeny symptom. However, we're not taught how to do that. So because of that, when we have pain in our body, when we're sick in our body, we now have to disrupt our whole life, go to the doctor, figure out what's wrong with us, get some sort of prescription, because that's generally what happens. Start taking that, feel better in 4 days, go about your life the same way you did before, and then get really friggin' frustrated when a couple months later or a few weeks later, the same things happened, right? This is a cyclical pattern that majority of our society lives within. And I think that this entire conversation, the purpose of this and what I want you to walk away from this with, is understanding that your body is working with you. So when you have that ailment, when you have that pain, when those things are happening, there is a reason for that. There is something that is out of balance, whether in your physical, emotional, spiritual, mental bodies. There's something out of balance. And it's not always easy to access just like that. It requires some work. It requires being held in support and safety. It requires having an environment where you get to dive into what those emotions might be, or what, when did this pattern start showing up in your life? When did this pain start showing up? It's about being able to explore it. And from that, that's where you receive the wisdom. I'm going to share something very vulnerable, but it feels important to share it. So I'm going to. I had a call with my coach earlier this week, and we were talking about basically like the work that I do and the work that I do with others and how the impact that it makes. And if you saw my post from this morning about my post office experience, it was kind of along those lines of me really honoring and owning that I do have this really powerful ripple effect. And as we were talking about this massive lump of pain came in my throat. We've been working together, me and my coach, for quite a while, so we can go through this. And she asked me to go into it and to really tap into that pain and understand what it was about. And here's the vulnerable part. I had this vision from when I was quite young, and this is not true. It did not happen. But I have this vision of my dad slapping my mom. And he didn't. I know he didn't. My dad is an incredible human being. And Dad, if you're watching this, I know you didn't. I'm not saying you did. But I remember how this vision was so vivid in my mind. And I think what it was a representation of the oppression of women, of that frustrating feeling of, I want to make a difference, or I want to change this, or I want to speak up, but I don't feel safe to. I don't feel like I have the ability to do what I need to do or be who I need to be. And I think that it was just represented through that vision of my dad and my mom with the masculine and the feminine. But that vision is stored in my cells, even though it didn't happen. I created that vision within myself to help me learn something about why I'm here and what my mission is and what matters to me. But if I didn't go in to do that work, that vision could have just popped up at any time. And if I wasn't aware enough, I would believe that to be true. even though I know it's not. Do you see what I'm saying here? Our bodies are so intricate and they hold so much wisdom for us to look into. And when we look into the pain in our body, it gives us the guidelines as to where we're seeking to heal. And when we bring in love and compassion and just so much support and kindness and honor for how we feel, and we allow our emotions to be felt and we allow our bodies to process, everything starts to soften. The pain doesn't have to be there anymore. We allow ourselves to let go and surrender into the truth of who we are in that moment, into the truth of what our life is about. And it becomes so much less about, oh God, I can't even drink coffee anymore. My stomach is so upset all the time. It changes from that into, I choose not to have coffee because my body doesn't work well with it and I want to honor my body. Do you see how that like big, huge, crazy thing can lead into something as simple as a morning coffee? Are you guys, is this making sense? Give me some comments. Let me know where you're at with this. Emma says, I'm not sure. I haven't explored this before. I think, Emma, you're talking about if you have had physical pain in your body and it's made you think like, I don't like you, body. I think that's what your comment was about. Hi, Cody. I'm glad that you're here. This is so on time this morning. This was on my mind. I was reflecting on how when I worked as a care aide and was chronically exhausted and in pain, I would take pain meds daily and resist my body to be upset with her. Yeah, totally. Now I listen to her, love her, nurture her in whatever way she speaks. She needs to feel supported and thrive. Thank you for opening this conversation up. Cody, 100%, we're totally on the same page right now and same lines. And one of the things I've noticed, a ton of my clients have been in the healthcare world. They work in healthcare because I noticed that, especially it seems to be nurses, are sometimes the most unhealthy because of the working conditions that they have to survive within, that they have to push everything else aside to show up for others. And I can appreciate why they have to do that. But the way that our system is designed is not sustainable for a nurse's body. It's not sustainable for the long term because of exactly that. It's, well, I got to work a 12-hour shift, so pop the pain meds. Let's go. These people need me. And I believe that there's a way as a society that we can change this so that we can start honoring our bodies, just like you said, honoring and nurturing and nourishing her, letting it be whatever she needs. Raylyn says, the power of our subconscious mind is wild. It totally is. It totally is. It's unbelievable. And if you guys saw my post, I think it was yesterday, in our mastery program, we had an incredible call talking all about our fears that are really like subconsciously down here. And we started with, what's this fear? What's scaring you right now? And then we went deeper because this isn't what's scary. It's the deep, dark, subconscious fear that's holding you back and playing on repeat. It's so crazy. Raylyn, yes, this is so powerful. I've had this practice shift in my life. I'm so happy to hear that, Raylyn. It makes so much difference. It makes all the difference because even if you don't go into healing that physical part of your body, even if you don't look at that aspect, if you simply look at the way you think about your body and the way you interact with your body, if 9 times out of 10 you're mad at your body, frustrated with your body, upset with your body, that's negativity on repeat in your mind. So that is negative energy, a negative alignment that is now calling in more opportunity for negative alignment because it's the law of attraction. But as soon as you start to soften into, okay, I see that you're upset right now. I see that this pain is showing up. I see that this is happening. I remember this happened before. And you start being a little bit more curious, a bit more compassionate. Think about what that does for your energetic field. Think about what that does for the law of attraction. You are now welcoming in opportunities to be compassionate, to be kind, to be loving, to be nourished. This is how it changes. This is how we create change in our external world, in our physical body, by what goes on inside our minds constantly. This is why it's important. Roberta, I'm like you. I've lost my mom, and every time I think about her, I feel so sick that I can't eat until I write something or draw them, I can eat again. Okay, so once you get some sort of like creative element out, that allows you to physically be able to show up again in that way. Yeah, 100%. And to me, that just showcases that your body is saying, no, like, don't feed me, don't do these things. I'm on strike. until you process these emotions. And if you think about it, that's beautiful. Your body is rooting for you to move through the grief. Your body is pushing you in the most kind and loving way to explore the loss of your mom in a way that nourishes you. And especially when your outlet is creatively writing or drawing, that's incredible. Like, can you see how that is a gift? When we start seeing it this way, it makes such a difference in how we believe our bodies to be on our side. And I think this is essential, because if you go to the gym because you want to lose weight, then you are trying to manipulate your body to be a certain way. If you eat a diet because you want to lose weight, you are trying to manipulate your body to be a certain way. What if instead of focusing on how you want to control your body and how you want to control how you look and what's coming up for you, what if you looked at what brings you joy? You looked at truly what brings you joy. Not like, yeah, I love sitting on the couch and eating potatoes all day and that makes me feel so good. It doesn't. You know it doesn't. You know if you do that for more than 2 hours, you feel exhausted and drained and you're not excited about life and your eyes hurt and you're like, you know the things. Be real with yourself. What if you looked at what brings you joy in your body? And it could be as simple as, going for a walk after dinner to help your body digest. Not because you desperately want to go for a walk, but to honor your body and nourish your body. What about adding a sprinkle of greens on whatever food you're eating because you know that's going to add a nutrient level that you wouldn't have otherwise? Even if it's not your favorite thing, but you know that the aspect of joy within your body will increase. The vibration of your body will increase because of that nutrition. You see what I'm saying here? Does this make sense? It's about honoring your body. So this is just like to start the conversation. There's only so much that I can really deliver and showcase to you within the Friday morning show. So I hope that from this, you're receiving this concept of, right, okay, how can I shift my perspective here? And even if this is already a part of your life, how can it go deeper? And I was reflecting on, I used to teach a workshop called Understanding Your Pain Patterns, and it was phenomenal. I remember I was supposed to teach it at a festival and I had 70 people registered for this one workshop, and there happened to be an accident on the highway and I didn't make it in time, so I never got to offer it. And I think that was the last time I offered this workshop or even attempted to offer it. So I've decided I'm going to offer it again. And this is something that you can work with me on at any point one-on-one if you want to pay for it. 100% you can. It's $200, but you and I dive so deep into what are the intuitive messages and the wisdom within your consistent pain patterns in your body. That's an option. But I was thinking, how can we make this more accessible? So you guys have probably seen that I posted about the Empowered Woman series coming up. It starts next month. It's an incredible series, 6 weeks of 6 principles for you to embody your feminine, truly live as an empowered woman. You get lifetime access. You've seen all the things, right? If you have questions, let me know, but I'm guessing that you've seen the things. I've decided that as an additional bonus, which there's already like 15 bonuses, as an additional bonus for every woman in the Empowered Woman series, I'm going to host a live Understanding Your Pain Patterns workshop so that we can all understand that intuitive wisdom within the pain patterns in our body. So you can pay me $200 and we can do it one-on-one, and I would absolutely love that, and I promise to cherish and honor you within that. Or you can pay the $297 to sign up for the Empowered Woman series, get 6 weeks of support plus lifetime access, and get a live Understanding Your Pain Patterns workshop. It's totally up to you. Do what feels right for you. But I was thinking about it and I thought, I feel like the latter option is probably a bit more bang for your buck. So if this conversation stirs something in you and you know that there are some physical pain patterns that you're like, why does this keep happening to me? What is this about? What am I not picking up on? This is exactly the workshop you want to be doing, because it takes you on a journey of just deep diving into those physical pain patterns and really starting to understand what are those intuitive truths. And we look at it from the 4 principle or the 4 foundational pillars. What is my thing? Mastery? I don't know. Anyways, we look at physical, emotional, energetic, and spiritual. And we really allow ourselves to understand how are we showing up when we have this pain, and how are we showing up before this pain arrives? And what does that mean for us? So you're going to gain a lot of understanding as to what this pain is telling you and how you can start adjusting it before it even occurs so that you can alleviate that pain altogether. Remember how I told you previously, I've had experiences, one specific experience where I had so much pain in my body. I was vomiting almost every day. I couldn't eat. This was me living in 100 miles within the past 5 years. I was teaching fitness class. I would vomit on my way to go and teach, continue driving there, try to teach a class while I knew I was going to vomit again. It was terrible. This lasted for, I think, 4 months. I had a scope down my throat. We thought I had an ulcer, all of these physical things. And I ended up having a conversation with a friend of mine. I talked about this on one of the Friday morning shows. I ended up having a conversation with a friend of mine where we needed to hash out some emotional things. It went very deep in my heart. And within, I think, a week and a half of having that conversation, gone. Physical symptoms gone. Okay? I need you to understand that your body loves you, that your body is here to support you, that your body is working with you. But it needs you to meet it halfway. It needs you to start seeing that your body is your ally, that it is your greatest asset, and that when you love and honor and nourish it, that you will receive the wisdom that you need to continue your personal evolution. It's all the things. So, if you're going to join me in the Empowered Woman series and receiving this Understanding Your Physical Pain Patterns workshop, I want you to send me a message after this. Let me know that you want to do it. I'll give you all the details, but I want to know that you're coming and that you're joining so that we can celebrate in this together. And if you're not, I want you to take what we talked about here and start reframing the way you look at your body. Start reframing your internal dialogue about how your body shows up for you. Okay? If you have questions, I'm right here. Happy Friday to you, loves. I'll see you soon.